life.
Yeah.
A life that's humbled, a life that's pressing toward that goal, a life having no anxiety, a life he's letting them know that they have the ability to do all things through Christ.
Yeah.
And in our text today, Paul is refocusing the believers against those. He's refocusing believers because there are those trying to get them to follow the Jewish religious practices and trying to get them to do it the Jewish way of church and trying to get them to have limitations because they are not Jews. But Paul wants to let them know, stop allowing those folk to try to get you to fall into religious actions and follow up and do the things that I called you to do.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. We got too many folk that are trying to live religiously and not Christian-like.
Yeah.
Not Christ-like. You got folk that want to be religious, but they have no sign of God. You got folk that say they know God, but they don't show God. Am I right about it this morning? God is needing some folk that are no longer religious, but he needs folk that are truly saved and sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost. But can I share something with you? The reason that we see folk not coming and being a part of what we call church is because we got too many judgmental folk in the church. Am I right about it?
Amen.
I'm not going to look at nobody. I'm going to stare at the screen. But I know we have the mindset that when somebody comes in looking a little bit different than what we're used to, our mindset causes us to look down on them because we are religious.
All right, come on now.
If they walk during the time of communion and they talk during the time of prayer, then we start judging them and saying that they're not Christ-like and that they are not church folk. But we got to understand that some folk have been in the world all their lives.
Right.
Don't know nothing about church, but they came looking for a change in their lives.
Yeah.
And once they get in here, then God will do the work that needs to be done and stop judging folk and start loving folk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Look at your neighbor, say stop judging and start loving. That's the problem, is that we got too many folk judging one another. We got too many folk looking at one another. And we're looking around and we're losing focus on what God has called us to be as the church.
Yeah.
God wants us to be more than just religious folk. He needs us to be Christian.
Yeah.
He needs us to be believers of Christ. So I want to share some things with you, and I'm going to promise I'm going to be done here real shortly. I want to show and give you some steps of refocusing your life.
Yes, sir.
So the first thing that I need you to do, to write down, is that you need to define and determine your focus.
All right, come on now.
You need to define and determine your focus. Paul tells us in the text that the goal, that we're seeking a goal, we're trying to get to a goal, and the goal which is to be transformed from our earthly bodies into glorious bodies like our Savior, the Master Jesus Christ, who will arrive and make us beautiful. Our focus should be obtaining our citizenship, which is in heaven.
Yeah.
Paul says to us in verse number 13 of that same chapter, he says to us that he hadn't reached the goal yet. He hadn't got there yet, but because he had not gotten there yet, he gives us steps that we need to take to get there. He says that you got to press toward the mark.
Yes, sir.
Press means that there is going to be some opposition in your way, but you got to learn to press and to get toward those things that God is calling you to. You got to press. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you got to press.
You gotta press.
Paul says to them two things that I want to point out real quick in that 13th verse. He says, forgetting what is behind and pressing toward what is ahead. Holy Spirit, when I was writing my notes, said that we need to catch this repeated message that I gave for the past 3 weeks. Forgetting the things behind you is talking about your past. For the past 3 weeks, God has been talking about our past. God has been telling us that we need to forget what is behind us and press forward. We got to stop looking back at every mistake, every hurtful place, every hurtful, painful memory, every detour, every delay that the enemy has placed in our lives, and we got to learn to press on. It's too many of us cannot move forward, and we lose focus because we're consistently looking back at what is behind us. Let me help somebody. Let me help somebody right there. As I was sitting there, the Holy Spirit began to mess with me, began to show me something. I remember a few months back when we went and we took a plane ride, and I was sitting on the plane and I began to think about something. The plane does not have a back window.
Come on.
A plane does not have a rearview mirror.
Right.
The pilot has the windows surrounding him in the cockpit because the plane is not designed to go. The plane is designed to go forward. And as it goes forward, it gets elevation. But if the pilot had a back window, he would be like some of us. He's so concerned what's behind him that he cannot go forward because he's looking at what's behind him and not where God is trying to get him to. Mess me up, Holy Spirit, y'all messing with me and say, you got to understand something. When the pilot gets on the plane, he's given two things. He's given the flight plan and he's given a manifest. The flight plan tells him where he's about to go. The manifest tells him who is with him. And so when he gets there, he looks at everything and he makes a determination on which route he needs to take and everything that he needs to do to get those that are relying on him to where they're trying to get to.
Yeah. Right.
Holy Spirit messed with me. Started talking to me and said that the pilot has the responsibility of ensuring that these people get there and they get there safely. And so in his preparation, he goes most times and look and see what the weather report would be. So that he'll know what he's flying into. Holy Spirit messed with me and said that we got to understand that on the way to our destination, as we elevate, there's going to be some bumpy and some turbulent weather that we're going to go through. But we got to understand that our end result is not the stormy weather, but is getting to the destination that God has already given to us. Can I help somebody right there? Some of you are upset right now because you're going through some stuff. You got some turbulent situations. You're struggling with some stuff right now in your life. You got some past mistakes. You got some jacked up stuff in your life. And you got some turbulence right now. But God said you got to understand that I'm taking you to a destination. Don't worry about the turbulence. Understand that I'm going to get you there if you believe that I can do it for you. Read a story a few years back, had a little analogy, a little illustration that I was given. And the illustration talked about a little boy, y'all might have heard it, little boy riding on the plane, and little boy's on the plane, and the plane is rocking and it's reeling, and it's going back and forth, and it's going all over the place. But yet and still, while everybody else is going crazy, while everybody else is wondering if they're going to go down, while everybody else is confused about what's going on, little boy's playing with his little toy, and playing in his little seat, and doing what he's doing. And the people got upset because the little boy wasn't wearing it like they were wearing. Somebody asked him, well, why you not wearing it? He said, because my dad is the pilot, and because he's the pilot, I know he's going to get us to where we're going to safely. Why? Because my daddy has it all. I wish I had somebody under control. Am I right about it this morning? Even though right now it's turbulent right now, understand that God has it all under control, and we can't worry about what's behind us. We got to look at what's ahead of us. Holy Spirit began to mess with me and said that when the pilot takes off and he's in the plane, when they get on the runway, he's not worried about who's coming behind him. It says that he puts the pedal to the metal, he lets the throttle down, he turns the jets all the way on. Why? Because he knows that he needs everything, not what's behind him, but what's in front of him to take elevation to get to where he is going. Let me help somebody real quick. You got to stop looking back and worry about who's behind you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And start looking at elevation and where God is taking you. Am I right about it?
Amen.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to run forward while looking backwards? Won't work. You gonna run into something?
Yeah.
You gonna fall down?
Yeah.
But if you look forward and you're running, you're able to see any obstacle that is in your path.
That's right.
Let me help somebody right there. There's too many of you trying to run the race looking behind you. You can't win when you're looking behind you. You got to press on, and the only way you can press is by looking at what's ahead of you. Am I right about it this morning?
Yeah.
The only way that we're going to get to where God is trying to get us to is to focus on what God has before us. Am I right?
Yeah.
Look at your neighbor and say, baby, you got to focus. You got to focus. You got to focus. But Holy Spirit, let me share this with you because it just dropped in my spirit. There's too many of y'all folk sitting in the area waiting for the plane to take off when the plane has been fully loaded and everybody else's ticket has been scanned, and you're still waiting there because you're not sure about letting go of your past. And you're waiting just like on the movies for your past to come running up to you in slow motion and welcome you. No, God says, I need you to leave your past behind you and find your little raggedy self getting on the plane to the destination that I have for you. Look at your neighbor and say, baby, just leave your past in the past. You got to determine your destination. You got to define your destination, your focus. You got to say, I'm trying to get to here and I'm trying to get there, and the only way I'm going to get there is by relying on God and believing that God can do it for me.
Yes.
So here's the next thing. Write this down. Is it the right path? Is it the right path? He tells the believers to focus on the goal and not to allow those that are on the other paths to get you to go along with them. He tells them to watch out because those on the other path are seeking easy street, and easy street is a dead-end street. There are wrong people and wrong paths.
Yes.
You got the wrong people on the wrong path. And you cannot allow them to get you to go with them on the wrong path.
All right.
Let me help somebody. The way that you know that you're on the wrong path is that when you get ready to get on the path, it just does not feel right to you. There's something about the path that they're trying to get you to go down that just does not feel right to you. Let me help y'all. Let me tell y'all something. Back in, it had to be like the 2nd or 3rd grade, went to a school called North Waco. Was hanging with one of these Brown, this boy named Brown. I can't remember his first name, but his name was Brown. And we went after school. We were supposed to be at the boys club, and we at the school. And so, let me tell y'all what we did. Brown boy convinced me. My teacher had candy in her classroom. And if I went in and get the candy, he'll watch to see if anybody was looking. I knew before I opened the door, Tyrus, that what I was doing was wrong. But because my buddy had said he's going to watch out for me, I went in and guess what? I got the candy. Came out pockets fat, walking there. Next day, I get called to the office. And while they're bringing the little slip to call me to the office, the teacher looks at the slip. She goes to her candy bowl and looks at the candy bowls, and she gets angry and says, take them to the office. I get to the office. Guess who's sitting in the office? Brown sitting in the office. He done told on me because somebody was upstairs looking down, saw him standing outside the door and told on him, and then he went and he told on me. But before I did what I did, I knew I was doing the wrong thing. Some of y'all done did some worse stuff. Some of y'all done stole some big stuff. Some of y'all done hid some crazy places. Because you were doing some crazy things.
That's right.
Oh, y'all quiet now, boy. Y'all Christians, all y'all lives. Let me go on and keep moving. Because y'all ain't never done nothing. Y'all ain't never had to run out nobody's house. Y'all ain't never heard the garage door open at your little girlfriend's house or whatever, and you had to go after. Amen. Y'all smiling, they talking about, I sure do, I remember that. Yeah. He almost got me, but I got away. He almost, am I right? We've done some stuff in our lives that we knew was not right when we went to do them, but yet and still we found ourselves on their path, and we knew that was the wrong path, but because they had convinced you to come on the, let me hear somebody, Holy Spirit messing with me. There are some folk that are stuck in some situations now because he or she convinced you that I'm going to change.
Come on now.
I'll close my eyes so I don't have to look at nobody. And he or she said to you, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But we find out that he or she, soon as they get the opportunity, did it again. And you find yourself being coerced back on. What's the word, coerced? Coerced. Y'all know one country. They call you back on the path, and you get on the path because they said those sweet things to you. Yeah. Am I right about it? Y'all talk to me. Y'all looking like y'all confused. We find ourselves being coerced back on that path because of what we're hearing and what's being relayed to us. And God says, do not focus on those whispers.
Come on now.
But focus on my voice, because I'm speaking, but the enemy is trying to speak to you at the same time. He's trying to get you to stay off course. He's trying to tell you to come on with me, stay with me, because if you stay with me, I know I got you. See, some folk think that the easy street is the best street. Because the easy street means there are no obstacles, there are nothing coming against you. But when there is nothing coming against you, that means that the enemy is not trying to get at you. And when the enemy is not getting at you, that means that you must be on the same path that the enemy.
Come on now.
All right.
So you on easy street. That's why it's a dead end. Because when you get to the end, you realize that what you thought was good
Come on now.
turned out in the end to be real bad.
Yes.
Am I right about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Sister Zane, I remember me and my brother Jason had got in a fight, and my mama had this big old glass door. Pretty. We were fighting. So I took off running. And I ran in the house. And Jason threw a rock. Yeah. And the window, the glass shattered. And my mom, she didn't do nothing. She let my daddy come home. And when we heard the van drive up, because he had this little red van, you heard it when it came in because it was clicking and clocking when he got up in the driveway. When he came in the house, you know how when you know you're going to get a whooping, how your body begins to react to you and tell you you're about to get a whooping. The muscles in your backside begin to start twitching and moving. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all. Thank you. Everything you trying to figure out how you gonna take this whooping, and I began to think about the fact that I got to take this whooping because Jason bad behind done thrown a rock and broke out the window, and so I wasn't at fault. He threw the rock. I just hid behind the door. I don't get no whooping. He should be the only one getting the whooping. But can I tell you something? My daddy was equal opportunity. He said, if I'm going to whoop him, I'm going to whoop you too. And you know what? We got beat down. We got tore up from the floor up. We came out. You know that cry? I think my cry lasted about 5 hours. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That cry where it's just stuck in your soul. You can't release that cry. It's your mouth shaking. Because we had made the mistake and we had found ourselves doing the wrong thing because we were fighting. And y'all want to know what we're fighting over? I don't even remember. That's why I was asking y'all. Y'all know what I'm fighting over. So, but I need us to understand that when we are in these journeys and on this path, that we'll find that when God has to get us, He's going to get not only us, but He's going to get those that are associated. Amen?
Amen.
So God is an equal opportunity employer. He will correct you while He corrects me. and he'll correct us together.
Amen.
Am I right about it?
Amen.
And so as we look at this text, what I need us to see in this particular little point here, y'all remember what the point was? Is this the right path? The right path is not an easy path. The right path doesn't have the wrong people on it. And the right path doesn't have dead-end streets on it. The right path is the path that you know is a path that God has ordained for your life. Amen? Amen. Now, the next thing is, it's not what you want. And I had to put it like this in little parentheses and said, it's not always about you.
Amen.
Can I push that right there for just 1 second? I promise I won't stay on there too long. The problem we have is that we think that everything is about us. Am I right? It's all about me. If it's not about me, then we have issues. Amen. I'm glad Sister Key is laughing because I'm going to talk about Sister Key for a moment. Amen. Amen. Brothers, you know, when you are married and they want to do something or they want you to do something for them, they want you to stop everything you do to go do what they want to do. And this week, y'all ain't got to nod your head because word might get back. Amen. And what they will tell you is, I want you to stop what you're doing. I want you to, don't you love me? You act like you love me. If you love me, you would stop what you're doing and don't put that in front of me. You would make me first. What? Am I right, brothers? Blink your eyes. Y'all looking at me like, I better not say nothing. Better not say a word. She gonna put me in my head. Just look straight ahead. I feel your spirit, but I'm telling the truth. They don't want you to focus on what you need to be focusing on. They want you to put your focus on them. And then, if you don't, there's consequences, repercussions. Brothers, I'm just going to look at y'all because I ain't looking behind me. My wife, when I get in the bed and I done made her mad, she take her hand and the cover. Don't put your feet on this side of the bed. That game was more important than me. Y'all look, they over here laughing. They know what I'm talking about. Because now she got the eye. So y'all pray for me after church that I'm going to be strong in the Lord. Amen. Y'all cover me. But because our focus was not on them, they became upset. And the Spirit began to mess with me. Because if the Spirit was like our significant other and got upset at us when we were not paying attention to it like we needed to, a lot of us would be in a world of hurt right now. Yes, am I right about it this morning? Many of us right now, if we did not give God the attention that we should, well, hold on, let me fix that. A lot of us don't give God the attention that He needs, and we wonder why so much go on in our lives. Why? Because He's trying to get our attention. Your kids, when they want your attention, what they do? They keep coming to you. They keep messing with you. They keep saying stuff because they need your attention. They're trying to get you to look and to pay attention to them. God's trying to get your focus. That's why you're going through what you're going through. He needs you to refocus. He needs you to refocus. And He says that if we refocus, then things will start falling in line for us. We don't have to think it's always about us. We don't have to, because when you look at that text, they were worried about satisfying their own appetites. They were worried about satisfying what was to them that they felt like they wanted. That's what they were worried about. It was all about them. And we found ourselves falling in line with that same thing. So it's not always about you. Then the last one, I'm gonna run. The last two. Surround yourself with the right people. Amen. The right people will encourage you. The right people will see where you're going and help you to stay focused. The right people will see that you have a goal and they will do all they can to help you get there. Am I right about it? The right people will be on the right course. Then when you get on that course, you will feel that that course is the right course and that you're headed in the right direction. You will find joy and you will find peace on that course that you're on when you're with the right people and the right course. When you have the right people and the right course, you will find that the right people and the right course, that you will find that they have the same goal. And when you have the same goal, you find that it's easier for you to walk and to operate together when you have the same people mindset, the same course, and the same goal. Amen? Amen. And so the next thing on my list is check your vision. Did your neighbor say check your vision? Check your vision. Check your vision. Paul says to those who have blurred vision, he said that God will clear your vision. Blurred vision will cause you to have something else in mind, something less than total commitment. Blurred vision. Blurred vision has caused you problems. Blurred vision will make you unable to see what God is trying to do in your life clearly. I remember, I think I may have told you guys this, but I remember sitting in class and when I first realized that I couldn't see, the professor was looking at me because I was squinting. I didn't realize I was squinting. I just was squinting to see the words on the board. But what happened was I was squinting because I could not see. And what was happening is there was blurred vision because the way that the light was coming into my eyes. Let me break it down for you. Blurred vision is most commonly associated or a symptom of a vision problem, commonly associated with refraction errors in your eyes. So most people, you will find, have one or two conditions. They have nearsightedness and farsightedness. Nearsightedness is a condition where objects up close are clear, but while other objects are far away seem blurry. Let me help somebody. When it's clear, when it's up close, you can see it clearly, but when it's far away, you can't see it. Let me help you real quick. When it's up close, you can see the promise. When you can see it right there before you, you're okay, you're happy with it. But when it's far away, you lose focus because it's not right there in front of you. We got some folk that are nearsighted. Look at somebody and say nearsighted. All you can see is what's close to you, not what God has for you in your future. You focus on what's close, and when God says that I'm doing this in your future, you find yourself not focusing on that, but just focusing on the right now, not where God is taking you to. God is trying to get you to look beyond the right now and see where He's taking you in your future. Look at your neighbor and say, baby, don't be farsighted. Don't be farsighted. Because farsighted people, all they can see is what's way down the line. They can't see God moving right now. They can't see God ordaining stuff and lining stuff up in your life right now. They don't have the vision to understand that God has to line things up here so that you can get over there. That's why farsighted folk always want to jump to the promise and don't want to go through the process.
All right now.
Am I right about it this morning? You want to go from where God spoke the word to the point where you received it. You don't want to go through the process of preparation, of getting yourself ready. You want to go straight to the promise. And that's having a farsighted mindset. You are not able to see that the process is getting you to where God is trying to take you to.
Right.
Yes.
You got to refocus. And too many of us got blurred vision. Let me tell you how you get blurred vision. The enemy causes your vision to be blurred. He causes it because he only allows you to focus on certain things and not the whole picture. Y'all know when they take you back there in their room and they tell you look through there and they do that little thing and they say this one is this one. A, B. A, B. And you're looking at the different slides and it becomes clearer as they change the lenses that are right there on the little machine. And as the lenses change and the strength and the lenses get stronger, that the vision becomes clearer. Let me help somebody right there. When your strength, your lenses become stronger through faith, fasting, and prayer, then you'll be able to see those things that God has for you clearly.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
So let me ask you a question. Can you see it in your spiritual imagination?
Come on.
The promise. And all I want to ask you, is it clear now? A or B? Is it clear now? A or B? Are you refocusing A or B? And what I'm finding is that if you look at A, then God says you can see A, I'm going to grant you B, and so it's going to be even clearer when you get to B. So A, B. A Or B, your A may be that situation right now you can't see your way out of. But B is God revealing that while you're going through what you're going through, I'm working it out for your good. A or B. I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I'm done with this. Listen. God has been working and talking with me over the past month. Been longer than that, it seems. He's showing me that it's like I put on some tainted or tinted lenses, spiritual lenses that cause me not to be able to see what God is doing. And those tinted lenses has caused me to have moments of doubt, moments of fear, moments of discouragement, moments in which my faith is not as strong as it should be. Why? Because my circumstances are so great. But because I'm looking through these lenses that have been placed before me, not by God, but by the enemy, I find myself in a place of discouragement, of brokenness, of hurting, of loneliness, because I find myself looking through the wrong lenses.
All right, come on now.
But then God began to speak to me over the past few months, and it's like he's broke the lenses as he's began to take the lenses off and begin to restore the vision that he's shown me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's beginning to show me that those things that I said that I would do for you, I will bring to pass. And you don't have to worry about that. And you don't have to worry about this. You don't have to. Let me tell y'all how God works. I know y'all gonna say, you tell all your business. I'm telling all of it. Latoya and I, we were concerned about, when you got some kid in school, you got to pay all this money. And we began to be concerned because we wanted Savion to be able to go back and to do everything. But things didn't seem to be lining up the way that they should. But we were sitting there last Sunday. We were sitting at the house and we were praying. And I just pulled out the computer and started talking to Savion. And something just told me, it says, go on there and do this, this, and this.